I figured it would be fun if I just told you some of the things as a musician that drive me crazy when people say. And the reason why I thought this would be fun is it comes from such a pleasant, kind place, but it comes across so diabolically irritating and frustrating. What am I talking about? I'm talking about these little pithy phrases people give you as a musician, and they just get under your skin and it crawls. Hopefully, this will be cathartic to the musicians out there. And hopefully to the non-musicians, maybe you'll learn not to use these phrases, and at least maybe it'll give you a greater appreciation of what it means to be an artist. And maybe it'll inspire you to be like, oh, some of these assumptions I had, they're not true. So I maybe could be an artist too and make some music. The first one, and this is probably one of the biggest ones, is you're so talented. It comes so easy to you. Now, I'm just going to go with the nicest explanation of this first. The talented part is you do something I can't do. Therefore, I have to justify us being different. So therefore, I'm going to put in this bucket of talent, which effectively is like, wow, you have a skill I don't possess. Therefore, you must be more talented than me. And a lot of times it's meant in a positive way, right? They're not being jealous. They're not being frustrated. They're basically saying you do something really cool. It's almost like saying, oh, you're so tall, or you're so pretty. That's what's going on. But it's undermining, right? Because anybody who's on stage, anybody who's done a lot of performing knows it requires a incredible amount of time and energy to get good at it. So you're kind of telling somebody, oh, it wasn't actually all this effort that you put in that made you good at the thing. Let's get into it comes so easy to you. And this is kind of a similar pathway, right? It's basically saying that what you're doing looks so effortless, it's like magic. Now, this is actually one of the greatest compliments you can receive as a performer, because that means that you are doing your craft quite well. It also is quite infuriating. It's kind of like the Schadenfreude kind of confliction that a magician must have, right? I don't want to reveal my tricks, but you don't understand how amazing and incredible what I did is because it just went right over your head and you think it was true magic, right? But at the end of the day, that's kind of what you just have to do. You just have to accept it. Now, the reason why I think people think this way about it coming easy and it being talent is because they're trying to comprehend something they don't understand. There's this famous quote, I can't remember who said it, but, magic is basically like something 2 or 3 steps removed. So like milk coming to my house is borderline magical, right? Because I don't milk a cow. I don't pasteurize milk. I don't get it to the grocery store. I just show up to the grocery store and I give people money and I get milk. And there's always milk there. It's kind of magic. So in many ways, seeing somebody perform really well is kind of magical. It's like I didn't spend hours and hours of my life learning piano, then practicing piano, then practicing performance. So it's magic. Let's get into number 2. And that is, you must not do anything else. You don't have any hobbies, right? Music is your hobby, right? That's your passion, so it must be everything you do. And it takes so much time. It's almost the opposite of the first one, right? In the first one, people are kind of going like, oh, you just must be really, really good. And the second one, they're going, well, you spend so much time doing it, that must be all-consuming, and that's the only thing you do. And nothing can be further from the truth for most musicians. Don't get me wrong. A lot of these have a nugget of truth that kind of compounds the myth and the exception proves the rule, all that business. But you can see Magic the Gathering cards behind me. I play video games. I'm developing a video game right now. I love tinkering with computers. I love to go outside. I ran like 5 miles today in like 90 plus degree heat just because I thought it would be a good idea. I didn't die, which, I mean, that's a positive. That's a good thing. And really what you find is, I would say in general, people who are into the arts, especially the performing arts, they are doers. They are people who want to be immersed in the world, living life. And that really makes them drawn to doing a bunch of things. Now, don't get me wrong. At some point in every artist's life, they spend a humongous amount of time working on their craft. That isn't always a set constant, right? You can actually, after you spend that real intense time at the beginning, you don't necessarily have to practice that many hours to be super duper good later on. But you have to put in that time investment somewhere. For me, it was during college. I spent like 10, 12, sometimes 14 hours playing the piano during college. Now, does that mean that I didn't even do things in college? No, I hung out all the time. We had a Bible study that I went to. Like, we'd hang out, we'd get Nerf guns instead of, doing our Bible study, and we would shoot at each other, and it was a good time. It was a good time. Go out, do social things. Like, you can do it. It's more that it's kind of a personality thing. And I would say for most performers, that personality is to go out and to do the thing and to be out and do stuff. This gets into number 3, which is you must love it so much. And this one's a conflicting one because on the one sense, of course, yes, it's true. Musicians love music. Like they love music. The only way it's probably easy enough to explain is the same way that people love each other in a romantic relationship. We love the muse. We love that inspiration. We love the sound coming to us. It's all incredible and transcendent in all of that. At the same time, though, it turns into a job. And that's not saying that it's bad or that we don't like it anymore. It's just the reality. And so sometimes you're literally there, you're playing the cocktail hour and you're playing, the same pop song you've done over and over again. You're playing Don't Stop Believing for like the 30th time, maybe not during the cocktail hour, but you get the idea. It's not that you hate your life in that moment, but also it's not really like you're just like, I am the most blessed, incredibly, cherished person and I'm on cloud 9 and it's amazing. Sometimes you have those thoughts, don't get me wrong, and it's good to have that perspective really about anything to say, wow, I literally get to wiggle my fingers on a piano and make money doing that when other people are like literally like breaking dirt or having a hard time making a living. Like that's incredible, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Like in a couple days, I got to drive far, far away, play a gig, drive to another place, play a gig, and then drive back home, and get in 3, 4 in the morning. I do this fairly regularly. You're driving through the night sometimes to make the schedule work. It's grueling work sometimes, but it's a labor of love. So I'm kind of agreeing and disagreeing at the same time, which you'll see is kind of apparent with all these. All right, let's get to the final one. This one hurts. It hurts deep. And musicians, you have all heard this before you started your career, earlier in your career, late in your career, anytime in your career, which is, how do you actually make money? And I think this hurts so much because it is a mixture of both. It's true. It's hard to make money in music. And so when you hear it, you're like, oof, yeah, it is complicated to do that. But at the same time, it's also, I think, that that feeling that going like, you don't respect my profession. I got pulled over once on tour, and the police officer, I'm on tour. I'm literally going across the country from the Midwest to the East Coast to play music shows for thousands of people to make money. And the police officer, he pulled me over. I was going maybe 7 or 9 over. I probably too fast for Pennsylvania. And he goes, "What you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I was excited. We're going out on tour." And he was like, "Well, your wife must just be really supportive to let you do that." He literally thought I was going on a boys' vacation trip. That's what he thought was going on. And it's just no. This is my job. This is what I do for a living. It's crazy. I have so many stories like that. And what I would say is you have to understand it's more curiosity than negativity. If you think about most people's lives, they do a service that has a tangible good. They grow a crop. They give people food. They serve somebody. They cut somebody's hair. They're a police officer. They're a firefighter. All of these things, they feel very tangible, even though we can debate how tangible they actually are. They feel very tangible. So then when you are outside of that parameter, it really, really confuses them. Have you experienced any of these as a musician? Have you said any of these to a musician? Did I miss any? Are there any that you want to throw in this list? I'm Robert Monroe. I hope you enjoyed this video. We're going to have a lot more fun with videos like that, so I'd greatly appreciate you subscribing and liking. Share this with somebody that you know one of these is their biggest pet peeves. And until next time, peace out.